Somayach. One of the most powerful motifs of Chanuka is the ability of light to vanquish the darkness. Light itself is symbolic of many things, as is darkness. There is the darkness of oppression, of assimilation, of intermarriage, of illness, of war, of the personal depression and struggles that everyone goes through. And sometimes we feel that the struggle is hopeless. There is no way out. There is a sense of desperation and despair that grips us. But one of the important lessons of Chanuka is that even if we think our ability to generate light is ineffectual, is meaningless, cannot possibly dispel the darkness that exists in the world and within our own personalities. The spiritual blessing is that we do what we can, and God will bless our efforts beyond what we thought was possible. After all, that is the very story of Chanuka. There was only enough oil for one night. It should not have burnt into the next day. And yet, we lit that light. We did what we can. We confronted the darkness that existed in the world with the ineffectual, puny effort of lighting a little light. And lo and behold, God blessed our efforts beyond what we thought was possible. This idea can be seen not only in the miracle of the candles, but in the very struggle against the Yevanim, against the Greeks. Let us remember that the war against the Greeks was not a war of independence. It was not fought for political purposes. It was fought to establish the primacy of the Torah and the ability to serve Hashem. At the time, the Greek Empire, the Hellenistic Empire, was the most powerful in the world. And the Hashmonaim and the Maccabim were a small, insignificant group that were opposed and despised not only by the Yevanim, but by the vast majority of their fellow Jewish people as well. And they very well could have thought, what is the point? Who are we? A small group of untrained people fighting against the most powerful military machine in the world, opposed and hated and reviled by our own people. But they took the position, we do what we can, and the Almighty will bless our efforts beyond what we thought. That is such a beautiful metaphor for the challenge that we face in the world today. We live in a world of ignorance, of darkness, and it is the job of each and every one of us to shed a little light into the darkness of that world. And we often feel that our efforts are futile, but the lesson of Chanuka says, don't give up, don't despair, keep on going, do what you can do, and God will bless your efforts beyond what you thought would have been possible. That is truly the miracle of Chanuka. Tonight is the fifth night of Chanuka, and although halachically the fifth night of Chanuka is no more different than any other night, in the Sifrei Chasidus there was a special celebration of the fifth night of Chanuka. Why is that so? Because the fifth night of Chanuka is the only night of Chanuka, the only day of Chanuka that can never be on Shabbos. Well, why is that significant? Because that signifies that it is the darkest of the dark. It doesn't even have the illumination of the potentiality of a Shabbos Kodesh. And even within that supreme level of darkness, the lights of the Chanuka illuminate the way. May all of us be zocha, may all of us merit to be the lamplighters that can be the conduits to bring the divine, glorious light of Hashem to pierce the darkness of assimilation and ignorance. Chanuka Somayach.